Yeah, hello again. This is the computer programming course, and we are going to continue with the next practice. Okay, so we already finished the practice question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 3a. And let's move on to the question 4. So this question 4 is more related to the condition and repetition. Okay, so let's check this example. Yeah, if you have an input, this given user input, show the result of either addition or multiplication. So, okay, what is the addition and what is the multiplication? So you have the choices, like choose one or two, addition or multiplication. If you choose one, then you will do the addition, and you need to input the number first, 5. So the addition of number from 1 to 5 is 15. So it means 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, then is 15. However, if you choose 2, the result will be the multiplication. If you see here, the selection is 2, then okay, you have another number. It is yeah, how many numbers that you want to multiply. So the multiplication of number from 1 to 4 is 24. Okay, now how can you make this program? So let's make a new class. So let's make P1Q04. Okay. And yeah, as this first start, you need to do the scanner input and equal to new scanner system.in. Okay. And oops. You know, the error message here is about to import the scanner, and you can have the prompt. So choose. Okay, yeah, it's just example. You can make by your own. Actually, it's not that important to have the word choose. So you can say choice or other things, and then it is important to show the user about the choices. Okay, one is about addition, and then two is about multiplication. Okay, and yeah, you need to check what is your choices. Okay, then I can say yeah, you can your choice, your selection. Okay, and then you need to input into one integer. Integer choices, for example, this one is input and you want to get the next integer. Okay, you have your selection, and after that you need to input your number. Okay, what is your number? Your number, I don't know what is input number. I forgot this one. Yeah, input the number. Okay, so you can input the number here, and then after that you will put it into integer. Let's say num equals to input dot next int. Okay, so this is the input. Now what will be the process? You need to process all those numbers, and yeah, I can do if the choice equal to 1. Okay, so it means you will do the addition, and the addition is you want to add the numbers from 1 until 5. And you can just have integer I, which is starting from 1, and I should be less than equal to the num, and then I will be added by 1. Okay, because you want to add from 1 until 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and every number you want to put it into one variable. Let's say you have the summation, okay, and the summation will be equal to 0. So sum equal will be added for every number in the I. Okay, and after you have the summation, this one, then you want to print it. So you want to print the addition from 1 to, which is what is the input. So the input will be the num. Okay, so this one should be the num, and then I want to say about the result of the summation. Is then I can give this one sum. Okay, and if the choice is not 1, okay, if you want to make it clear, if the choice equals to 2, then yeah, you can have another variable. Let's say integer multiply. Okay, integer multiply start from 1. Why starting from 1? Yeah, multiplication is uh, another from is different from the summation, because if you want to multiply, it means you need to start from 1. If you start from 0, then every number multiplied by 0 will be 0. Okay, so we need to start from 1. So for integer, let's just use I. Okay, I is a local variable. So once you define in this for loop, then you can define another in another for loop, because it is only used in this scope. Okay, so the one, now we have num, okay, and I plus plus, and because we are doing the addition with the variable sum, so I think the concept is the same. Now we are going to do the multiplication, and we are going to multiply with the I. Okay, so you already know this one. Okay, this is the same with the multiply by I. Okay, so the idea is the same, this one. And then I want to show the result. So the multiplication from 1 to the number will be is mul. Okay. Okay, so I guess if you know how to deal with the result, then this will be the result. Yep, let's see. If I run this, okay. Now you choose. What is your selection? So if I choose 1 and then input the number, if I input 5, okay, the addition from 1 to 5 is 15. Okay, and then if I do the multiplication, so input the number, let's say 4. The multiplication from 1 until 4 is 24. Okay. Yeah. This is the question number 4. Okay, and let's move on to the question number 5. We have this given spending inputs in integer and store the values in an array. Okay, now we're going to use array and calculate the average. So create a method to calculate the average. Oh, we need to calculate the average using a method. So for example, this one, how many inputs? So you have 4, okay. So let's say we have 4 spendings, I guess. So spending 1 in dollar is $20. Spending 2 in dollar is 25. Spending 3 in dollar is 10, and spending 4 in dollar is 15. Okay. So the average spending is 17.50. Ooh. Okay. So the same as the previous practice, we can make the scanner first. Okay. So let's just make P1Q05. Okay, so choose the scanner input, new scanner, system.in. And what we are going to check the first time is the input of the spending. Okay, so you can put in what is the question? How many input? Okay, let me just follow. How many input? Okay, and then you want to input the number into a variable. Okay, let's say just the number, and I want to input it as integer. Now, this number or this will be the size of the array. Then I can make an integer spending, for example. Okay, the spending will be a new integer of number, because the size of the array will be the same with the input that we use here. So I just put the number as the size. And what next is I want to insert I want to input all the spending. Then I need to do the for loop. Okay, for I integer I, let's say this is like I want to deal, because array will start from 0. Okay, so because I start from 0, then I will initialize the value as 0, and then I will be added by 1, then it will start it will stop until the number. Okay, and then I will be added by 1. So I want to do the spending. I want to input the spending first. So we are using the spending of I. It will be the input of next int. Okay, and because you want to do the average. Okay, okay, just like this one. This is for the input. Okay, so after you do the input, then you want to calculate the average. Okay, how can you calculate the average? If you want to do the average, then you need to pass by the array. Okay, so how can we pass by the array, and how can we make the method? So the method here is, let's see. Okay, we have, this is the main method. Then you can just make method public static void average. Okay, and this average will be all the numbers will be from the array. So we can have the integer I, which is starting from 0, and I will be the maybe we can say this like with, yeah, we are using the array, so you can pass also the array. Okay, so I would like to pass the array as the parameter here. Let's say I just want to use the spend. Okay, and then I know that the array, I can get the array is using the length. Okay, so I know the length of the array, and then let's just add the array like this one. So I will repeat until the length of the array, and after I know each of the element of the array, I need to do the sum. Okay, so sum will be the result of the summation of those array. Okay, so please remember that this variable is, yeah, you can generate this variable as you want. So later I can say that if I want to call the average, and you need to give the parameter. Okay, so the parameter here is the spending that I use into this bracket in order to do the process here. So if I already have the summation, then what is the average? Okay, so you know the average is the summation divided by the length of the number of elements in the array. Then okay, maybe it's good for me to use not void, because void we will not return any values. I would like to return a double values, okay, because this is okay. The spending, the average spending is 17.50. Then I can have the return. Okay, what is the return value? The return value will be the sum divided by the span dot length. Okay, yeah, we can have this one, but before I continue this, please check this one. We have sum, which is integer, and then this length also integer. So integer divided by integer, what is the result? It will be another integer. So maybe I will recommend you to change this to double, so the result will be double value. Okay, and when we get double value here, so the result will be double in here. So I don't want to use this one, but I can just say system.out.println the average is, like, say, and I can just call the average spending for this one. Okay, why we can call this one? Because the result will be a value and the value will be printed here. So let's check. Okay, I don't know how many input. See, I have 4, and then oops, okay, I don't have the prompt. 20, 20, 15, and 10. The average is 17.5. Okay, that's correct. Okay. Oh yeah, maybe you will ask me, oh, why is 7.5 not 17.50? Yeah, you can do. Okay, there's a function. No, not a function actually. Yeah, you can multiply with 100 and then divide with 100. So you can do that one to get the two numbers after the comma. Okay. You want to make it more complete, maybe you can say like system dot out dot print spending, let's say the I. Okay, because it start from 1, so you can just I plus 1 here, and then you will put another information which is dollar. Am I right? This one, yes. Pending number 1, and you want to check in the dollar. Okay. So let's see how many inputs. So I have 4, and then the spending one. Okay, the spending one is 20, 25. Okay, then 15. Okay, the average is 17.5. Okay, that's the answer. Okay. Okay, that's for the question number 5. Okay, I will go to the practice number 2, and it is related to flowchart. Okay, this is interesting because you need to understand how to read this flowchart. This flowchart is about the if function. Okay. If you have the flowchart, you need to figure out where is the start and where is the end. Okay. And in this case, this is the start. So we are having one variable age, and then you need to input the age, and you have the age is greater than 0 and age less than 10. Oh, okay. So I think it's similar with what we already did on the previous question, but the sequence is different. Okay, so now we need to start from the smaller one. So in our example, I at that time I did with the if function, if statement from the bigger values, from the x greater than equal to 30. But now I need to start from the smaller one. Okay, let's choose this one. So let's have practice 2, let's say Q01. So the first is scanner input, and it will be a new scanner system.in. Okay, and then after I have this scanner, I would like to give the input, which is the yeah, we need to give the input. So just make it this integer h equal to input dot next in. Okay, we want to input as integer, and then you will check with this information. So h is greater than 0 and h is less than 10, then the result will be child. Okay, so you can have if h is greater than 0 and h is less than equal to 10, then you will have the information as the child. Okay, and then what is this? You will also do the same. Okay, if it is yes or it is true, then child. If no, then it will check 10 and 17. Oops, I guess this is not equal. This one. And then else, if we want to check the h which is greater than equal to 10, and h is less than 17. So we can print the result as okay, don't forget with semicolon and teenager. Okay. So if there is another okay, we have another condition. So if this one is not correct, then we will check whether the h is greater than or equal to 17 and h is less than 30. Okay, so we have h is greater than equal to 17 and h is less than 30. Okay, and the outer green line we have the okay, the result is should and otherwise is adult. Okay, and if not, then yeah, we can say adult. So adult is more than 30. Let's just assume that everyone which has an age greater than 30, we call them as adult. Okay, yeah, you can check this. If okay, enter. Oh, there is no prompt. Okay, 25 is should. Okay, because it follows these rules. If you want to make it more better program, so you can just give the input like input your age. Okay, so you can input like 35. Okay, you're an adult. Yeah, that's the question number 4. Oh, this is the flowchart that you already did for question number 2 in the previous example. So yeah, basically it's the same. And you can see what is the sequence. Okay, so it follows the numbers. This is from the highest number to the lowest number. but this will follow the sequence from the smallest number to the highest number. So basically they are the same, and yeah, you can use both to solve the problem. It means whenever you do the programming, your answer, so all of the students have different answers, so there will be no single answer. So that's why it's very unique, and you need to be creative, especially when you create the variable name and whenever you create the process. Okay, so it will be very unique. It is based on your preference. Okay, so if I found out there are any similarities from your code, of course I know that you are clone. Okay, so please don't cunning. And oh, okay, this is just a very simple about the flowchart. Can you draw a flowchart of question 3? Okay, so can you draw a flowchart from question 3? Yeah, if you see this kind of flowchart, I guess there will be no issues for you to draw your flowchart. Okay, I will leave this one for you. Okay, I guess drawing flowchart is not the very difficult task. Yep, I guess that's all for the practice, and hopefully this practice give you more understanding how to write your code, and in your exam the problems will be not the same but it's similar with what you already did in this practice. Okay, so thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you are having more time for practice. If you need more problems for your practice, so let me know so I can try to figure out what is the best exercise for all of you. Thank you very much for listening, and see you on the next video. Have a good exam.